morning, everybody. It's Dr. Rick. I'm on the way to my morning workout and decided that I would stop in and share with you for a few minutes. Hope that you had a very productive and prosperous week. Even if you've had some challenges, some hiccups, some setbacks, disappointments, delays, some untimely, undesirable news. If you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. Trust that you are built for the battle. You are built for the process. While it seems sometimes that the place you're in is more than you can stand, more than you can take, more than you can bear, trust me, you're built for it. There have been things you've been through in your life that didn't make sense to you, that prepared you for the moment that you're going through right now. Dig down deep within yourself. If it's overwhelming, seek help. If necessary, seek professional help. There's nothing wrong with seeking help. It's a sign of wisdom and strength. Don't allow yourself to suffer in silence. Don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed. The answer may be as simple as asking the right person the question. Look, I've been talking about this for a while. And sometimes what happens is we have a tendency of desensitizing to almost anything that we experience frequently. We tend to start to ignore it. There are certain things in life you shouldn't ignore. You should not ignore the cries of a loved one. You should not ignore pain that you experience psychologically, emotionally, or physically. It is a sign that something isn't right. You should not ignore the responsibility that you have to your financial future and the responsibility you have to your progeny, your offspring, your children, and their children's children. You have a responsibility of leaving an inheritance, not just in financial bequeathment, but in wisdom, in the legacy of the life you lived on this planet, but also financially. And a lot of people, especially people who came from impoverished backgrounds where the idea of lack rages supreme, there's a tendency, even when there is a semblance of success in their lives, that they get all they can out of it and they go for it and they live in the moment and they never prepare for the future. And every time you have the conversation with them about preparing for the future, they start to think, well, it's too late to start now. I wish I would have known that 20 years ago. But it's too late to start now. First of all, it's never too late. The later you start, the more aggressive and the more diverse and the more invested you're going to have to be. But you need to start. You need to start if no other reason than to start to lay the foundation and plant the seeds in the minds of those that you're responsible for developing. And if you don't have any children, find some people that you believe in, that you want to see their future flourish, and plant them. Become someone who works with young people so that you can get them off to a start you didn't get off to. That's one of the things that I thrive in and desire at high levels, is to introduce people to things that I discovered later in life that I wish I would have known when I was younger. I don't go, man, I didn't get it. They'll get it if they get it. You know, that I've got mine, you get yours thing is one of the most destructive forces in our world And it's definitely a destructive force among those who have impoverished mindsets, those who came up with struggle. The idea of reaching back and saying, hey, here's the door, here's the path, here's an opportunity that nobody's going to tell you about, but you can do it. It's accessible to you as it is to the richest person on the planet. They just simply know about it and are willing to use it, and you aren't. And so that's important for you. I have said for over a year now, for probably a year and a half, I've been telling you that if you don't have at least two streams of independent streams of income, meaning that it isn't you working for someone else, it's you creating a revenue source and then operating it on you. So you're not going to fire you. And even when times get tough, if you are one of those people that are hard working or go-getter, you're going to push through those tough moments, because trust me, they're coming. There's no such thing as the perfect situation. Nothing ever goes wrong. Nothing is ever challenging. That thing doesn't exist. Just trust me on that. But what does exist is the reward for those who persevere, those who are consistent, those who refuse to give up even in the darkest hour. Those are the people who get on in this world. And so I'm going to challenge you to do the things you need to do to get on in this world. So I created a way for anybody who wants to create multiple streams of income. Anybody. I mean, if you're listening to this video and you understand what I'm saying, you can do it. Obviously, there may be some people who are intellectually challenged, but I've got ways of helping them. I've had a client with Down syndrome. I had several clients with Down syndrome, several clients, multiple clients with autism. Matter of fact, I work with people with autism on a regular basis, but you'd be surprised at what you can do when you set your mind to it. It's about finding your space. I don't care where you're at, what seemingly heavy disadvantages or disabilities you came into in this world. Doesn't stop you from getting known. But you've got to, in your own way, decide that you're going to get on in this world, that you are not going to be pushed back and disallowed, and that, you know, someone else is going to determine the outcome of your life. You have a responsibility to yourself to rise up and meet the challenge of what's coming at you in your life. I created the 7-day online business launch. Again, something I discovered because I needed to relaunch my business career because of what happened in 2006 to 2008. I had to relaunch my business career. Some other decisions and choices that ended up costing me dearly, and I had to start over, lost everything I took years to build. But instead of whining and complaining, I do what people who get on in this world do. I squared my shoulders and said, let's do it. And once you've done it once, you're not balking at the prospect of having to do it again. You don't want to be starting over all the time, and luckily I haven't had to do it much, but you got to be willing to get back in and square up. And so I knew that I wasn't going to want to try to do the brick and mortar thing because it was limiting it. And I was looking at the rapid growth, and this is 13 years ago. I'm looking at the rapid growth of over 13 years ago, looking at the rapid growth of the internet and where it's going. All the social media juggernauts were still in their infancy, but you could see Facebook hadn't gotten its first billion, but it was on its way. Maybe it had 1 billion, something like it was nowhere where it is now, but it was definitely a spot in space for adults. Instagram hadn't even been acquired by Facebook yet, but it was making a presence. Twitter was actually the space at the time. YouTube was coming up, and I'm like, hey, these are spaces where people are hanging out every freaking day. And you could just get on there and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Promote my business. Everybody else is hanging out, kicking it. I'm going to holler at you, but that's not why I'm here. And so I started it, and then I looked at other ways, and I found out that there were platforms on there that needed people to do stuff. I said, well, where is my skill sets? Well, I'm a writer. So I found places that write, and I launched, ended up with clients in Sydney, Australia, ended up with clients, First Choice Lighting in London, did all their product descriptions. And they had thousands and thousands. It took a long time for that project, but I did it. And it was just simply by me getting on and saying, I want to start. Where I started at was very meager, but I knew I had to get started. It wasn't a time to think, that wasn't anything I wasn't willing to do to get back on. And so I did what I had to do. I wrote assignments that I knew I wasn't being paid enough for, but I wrote them, and I wrote them well. People picked up on it. People went around those platforms and reached out to me via email privately and said, hey, I don't want to do this on that platform. I'm not going to name the platforms because they're good platforms, and I'm going to introduce them to you because you're going to need some if you know how to write. But I want you to work directly with me. Are you willing to do it? I'm like, hell yeah. Worked out the contracts, did that. That happened multiple times. I never broke the rules. I never reached out to a client and said, hey, hit me here. Never did it. My clients found me. When you do work and you do it well, people will want to work directly with you. And people understand how business works, and they understand when there's a middleman, the middleman is eating up some of what you deserve, and they want you to get it all. It's amazing how many people think like that. I'm not knocking the middleman. If you're a middleman, if you're mediating, if you are the facilitator of something, if you are the second party to the third party, hey, you're needed because not everybody knows where to go. But there are also times to elevate your game. Anyway, I used a certain principle of entering into opportunities, low cost entry, scale out. And that's what I teach in this 7-day online business launch, is how to identify opportunities. This isn't about just going out and finding your passion and jumping into it and getting online. This is about creating multiple streams of income online. It doesn't have to be your passion. You may not even know what your passion or your purpose is, but you still need to have online business revenue, because that's going to hedge against you losing your primary source of income. Or just simply increase your income so that you can invest more. That's another story we're not going to get into. But you are going to have to be willing to do what it takes to get on. I teach this course. I've taught this course. This is a self-paced course. I've taught this course. So there are lectures of me teaching this course on video. You're going to get that with the course. You're going to get a step-by-step process. You're going to get 2 sessions with me that you can get with me at any time during the course. I would suggest after the course so we can go over any questions you have. But you're also going to have email access to me for a year, so that I can make sure that you're going through it and you're getting things answered. You send me an email question, I send you an email answer. So I want to make sure that you get this done. If you really want to be successful, you will be. It's that simple. Doesn't mean that it's going to just pop off, because you say it will. It's going to take work. It's going to take adjustment, but that's why I'm hanging in with you until you get there. Go in there, click the link, sign up. Those who really apply themselves, the registration fee is minimal. This weekend is actually, it's regularly $5.95. This weekend is actually $3.97, which was the promotional price forever, and they made me mark it up because they said I was giving it away. $5.95 is still giving it away, but it's $3.97 today and tomorrow, and then it goes back to $5.95, which I think is a steal. I think that anything that's going to pay you back double, triple, quadruple in a month, and that's low end. I don't think anybody who's really applying themselves after they get it up and going should make less than $1,000 a month. And I'm not talking about 40 hours a week. I'm talking about once you get it up and you know how to service it and get it going, and you know how to get it to where you got traffic, whether organic or paid, coming to it, you shouldn't be making anything less than $1,000 a month. So you should be almost tripling your investment monthly. It's that simple. It's really that simple. I didn't say easy. I said simple. It's a process. You follow the process. You put in the work. That's some things you're going to have to give up because it's going to require some of your time. It's going to require a different mindset for those people who aren't willing to pushing themselves to do something for themselves without somebody having to make them do it. You're going to have to get there, but I will walk you through that too. You've got to make a move to protect yourself. This is just the first step in creating a better financial future for yourself, but you've got to take it. On that note, I'm ready to get out of here. You guys have a great day. As I always say, I'm going to live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. That's my challenge.